Each week, in their B Mitzvah run-throughs, Cantor Addie and Cantor Luck show parents how to take the Torah scroll into their arms and then how to transfer that scroll into the arms of the child. How many of you have physically given or received a Torah? Who's ever held a Torah? Oh, nice. Do you remember what that moment felt like? Perhaps you've never held a Torah, not yet. Or maybe you haven't held a Torah scroll since you were 13 years old, and all you can remember is that hope that you wouldn't drop it. But here you are in this place right now. Whether or not you've ever held a physical Torah scroll, whether or not you have a kid or kids, you are in the process, this very moment, of holding and transmitting all that is sacred in our Jewish tradition. You can come here any Shabbat morning and you will see parents, some Jewish, some not, taking the Torah in their arms and putting it in the arms of their child, who then chants the ancient call and response with the congregation, as we just did. Will you try it again with me? Just that first line. I'll sing it, you sing it back to me, and hold that Torah. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Do you hear the generations of our people singing with us? Over my 35-year rabbinate, I watched this Torah pass week after week, parent to child, rabbi to student, friend to friend, and I think about what His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, once asked a group of Jews. Tell me your secret. Tell me, asked the Dalai Lama, the secret of the Jewish spiritual survival in exile. I too have spent an entire career wondering why does Judaism survive and thrive against all odds? Perhaps we survive because Judaism is a great tree of life, the theme of these Emanu-El High Holy Day services. Maybe our Jewish tree of life is like the banyan tree in Lahaina. After the devastating fires in August, badly burned, but due to its deep roots, still standing, always reaching upward, determined to live. In the earliest season of my rabbinate, I felt that Judaism's deep roots, that was the secret, the key to our survival. But as I continue to watch that Torah pass week after week, I asked myself, perhaps it's all the branches and leaves reaching into the heavens. We are, all of us, the leaves dancing on those branches. Torah connects us. You might be God-centric like me, a doubter, an atheist, progressive, liberal, conservative, halachic, not halachic, Ashkenazi, Sephardi, a Mizrahi. You might be an Asian Jew, a black Jew, a Latinx Jew. Jews of all genders and sexual orientations, each of us, God's gorgeous, colorful leaves on our tree of life. Torah weaves us into a single community, its many wide branches providing sustenance for all of us and our distinctions. And there are many other theories about why we, Jews, as the Dalai Lama calls us, are survival experts. At this season, I think about Judaism's intrinsic value right now and in the Jewish future. Ask yourself, what would go missing in the world if Judaism completely ceased to exist? And why should I or any of us care to transmit Judaism to the future? Then think about its wisdom. With its focus on repairing the world, Judaism guides and grounds us. For those who machazikim ba, who cling fast to it, Judaism commands us to care for our planet and all marginalized people. When we make decisions based on these values, we make the world a better and more livable place. And I want you just to think about the words that you heard Rabbi Paris and Rabbi Mintz speak last night. Beyond essential Jewish values, Jewish rituals lift us up during our greatest joys and hold us close as we struggle with our losses. With infinite reasons why Judaism is worth transmitting each in our way, I will name one more message passed down through the ages. And you heard Rabbi Mintz say it at the start of this service. Judaism makes sure that we see that our time on earth goes by in a heartbeat. In her latest novel, Ann Patchett writes, "It's about paying attention to all the small moments of your life and realizing that your life is just the compilation of small moments. And either you are awake to them and pay attention to them, or you're always looking ahead and you miss your own life." Ann Patchett is not Jewish, but for me, this sums up Judaism's enduring message to focus on what matters. Our Jewish rituals are designed to teach us how to wake up and how to pay attention. Jewish ritual practice can be a life changer. But here's the thing about that tree, about our Judaism. It requires a mechanism. It requires a mechanism for survival that is symbolized by that physical passing of Torah, but also known by these words, Lador Vador, translated simply as from generation to generation, but with a meaning so much greater. This expression appears countless times throughout Tanakh, through the Jewish Bible, and notably in our daily Shabbat and festival morning prayers. Our cantors just chanted these words this morning. So here's the secret. Lador Vador, from generation to generation. That's the secret to our spiritual survival. It's how we tend the tree. Each of us Lador Vadors in all the different ways. Some of us Lador Vador as parents, but you do not have to be in partnership, married, have any children, or be born Jewish to take upon yourself the privilege of gifting Judaism Lador Vador. If you joined a synagogue or any meaningful Jewish community, you Lador Vadored. If you hosted or attended a Seder, lit Hanukkah candles, traveled to Israel, donated to a Jewish or humanitarian cause, you Lador Vadored. If you are here in this sanctuary right now, or if you are with us online, wherever you are in the world, you are Lador Vadoring right now. You're like in the Mishnah, our oral Torah tradition, which was put in writing in the year 200. It says, Moses received the Torah from Sinai and passed it to Joshua, and Joshua to the elders, and the elders to the prophets, and the prophets to the members of the great assembly, Knesset Hagdolah. On this Jewish New Year, and really every day, we are Knesset Hagdolah. We're the great collective of this time, always seeking out the best ways to propel Judaism forward. Whatever brought you in, you are this generation's lucky recipient. Throughout the year, different congregants will just suddenly start showing up to Friday night services regularly. And I'm always curious about why. So I asked a dad who's been coming almost every single week, every Friday night for over a year now. He said, at the bat mitzvah run-through with Cantor Luck, Cantor put the Torah into my arms to transfer to my daughter. I had not held the Torah since I was 13 years old. And I cannot tell you what that moment did for me. And I've been coming to services ever since. That's his Lador Vador story. I've got one too. My great-grandfather, Harry Wolfe, of blessed memory, along with 8 other men, founded a synagogue in Lake Placid, New York in 1903. The synagogue continues to this day. His granddaughter, my mom, grew weary of her strict Jewish upbringing and thought of leaving Judaism altogether. I'm going to ask you to just take a second with that, like what would have happened, how different it would be. One Friday night, late in her young adult life, perhaps giving Judaism one more chance, or maybe on a whim, she walked into a synagogue to Friday night services in New York City. She met my dad, and here we are. That's my Lador Vador story. And I have to tell you, I love to imagine an angel tapping my great-grandfather Harry on the shoulder and whispering to him in the 1880s, you won't believe this, Harry, but one day your great-granddaughter is going to be senior rabbi of that crazy new Reformed temple out in San Francisco. Of course, not one word of that sentence would have made any sense whatsoever to great-grandpa Harry in his day. This is my final High Holy Day sermon as a full-time rabbi. And while I look forward to this coming year of being together, and then as emeritus rabbi, I want you to leave feeling empowered that you have agency in the Jewish future. You can Lador Vador with kids, or without kids, or even if Judaism did not stick with your own kids. I think we succeed when we look at the collective triumph of Judaism's vibrant presence in this era, even or especially as anti-Semitism manifests itself. And I'm going to interrupt my sermon for a minute. When you go out and you see all of the security that was needed to keep us safe, please thank every security person you see throughout these holidays, each time you see them. It's never too late. And there's no person whose contribution to the Jewish future is not needed. The variety of ways in which we, Lador Vador, is our gift to the future. That construction project in our courtyard, it's our gift to the future. On July 1, you will have a new senior rabbi, our colleague and friend, Rabbi Ryan Bauer. Rabbi Bauer is beloved in our congregation and has a great vision of depth and creativity for Emanu-El's next chapter. Rabbi Bauer, you are a gift to the future. In 2025, another branch on our tree will grow with the opening of our beautiful old new building. All of these are gifts to the Jewish future. Wow. I gave my first High Holiday sermon when I was 29 years old to now. What a privilege it's been to pass Torah together with you, Lador Vador. Some of you watched that wonderful TV show, the series called The Bear. In one season, a character asks a very seasoned chef, played by Olivia Colman, "So why do you do this?" "Respect," she says. "I think doing this is time well spent." I want to thank you for the gift and privilege of serving you and Emanu-El, our community, as your senior rabbi until July 1, 2024. I have nothing but respect for this treasure we call Judaism, and respect and love for each one of you for being its transmitters. And I can say with the fullest heart, my time with you has been time well spent. Shana Tova.